Hello everybody, Moni here with Feng Shui for Us. And today I wanted to tell you a story of something that happened to me when I went to buy something for plumbing. The situation is, in our house, for some reason, the contractors put a faucet on the outside, the faucet that you connect to the hose. For some reason it's not standard, and so when you get a hose, it doesn't fit in the faucet, and most of the adapters that you get, they don't fit either. So this has been an issue for a while. We had an adapter and it worked for a long time, then it started leaking. We're able to fix the leak, but then it was leaking too much, so we were wanting to replace that part, and this is the part that we're wanting to replace. So this goes to the faucet and this goes to the hose, right? And so we had gone to one of the big stores, and I don't want to tell you the name, but it's just one of the big stores for home improvement. And it's very important in Feng Shui to fix any issues that have to do with water, because water equals money. So the energy of water is the same as the energy of money. And what happens to water in your home happens to your money symbolically. And so it's very important to fix any issues with water. So for a while, we have been trying to solve this problem. And I made up my mind that we're going to solve it today. So we went to this big store, and we took the sample, right? And when previously we had gone to the store, and they had given us this product, and they said it was the same thing. But when we came home, it didn't fit. So we went back, we returned it, and they were trying to figure out how to get this, right? And so first we're trying to, my son and I, my oldest son and I were trying to solve this problem by ourselves, looking at what they have, but we really couldn't figure it out. So I asked for help of somebody who works at this store. And so I explained the situation to him, and then he showed us the same product that we had already gotten that didn't work out, right? And so he says, well, this is the only thing we have. And I said, yes, I understand that, but we have gotten that previously and it doesn't work. So what do we need to get? And he started getting upset and says, well, this is the only thing we have. And I said, well, if I was going to look for this online, what should I search for? And he tells me, oh, this is just a 3/4 adapter. And so I don't know if you can, well, maybe you can tell here, right? And so this is called a 3/4 adapter, because the 3/4 part is here. But this, as you can tell, this is about 1 inch, and this is a little over 1 inch. And so I wanted to know how to search online if I was going to look for an adapter to make sure I didn't get this, but I got this. And he kept telling me, oh, that's not the only thing we got. And he started acting like I was stupid or was not wanting to understand what he was trying to tell me, right? And so I told him, well, that I need to solve this problem. I need to find an adapter that connects to my faucet and to my hose. So can you tell me what I should search for? And he said something about it has to do with the thread. It might be this, it might be that. But he wouldn't help me. And so he said, I don't know what to tell you. I can't help you. And so I said, okay, is there another person in this store that can help me? Another person that works in plumbing? And he said, no. And then he said, then I said, well, is there any person in the store that can help me? And he said, no. And I said, okay. And I just walked past him, and I was with my son. So then we went to the front, and I asked to speak with a manager. And then the manager came, and I explained the situation with him, and I told him, okay, this is the problem that we're trying to solve, right? These 2 pieces. And then, so he started giving me the same spiel as the other person. Well, it's 3/4 is what it's called and whatever. And I told him, yeah, I understand that. But what I need to know is how to search online, since you don't have it, so that I can find this kind of opening that will actually fit on the thread of my faucet, right? And so he didn't know how to do it, but we went back to the plumbing section, and he asked me, is this the guy you talked to? And it was a different person. I said, no. And this guy was actually really knowledgeable about plumbing, and he told me right away what he thought the issue was. And he said, there's nothing like that we carry at this store. And he gave me the name of a local store where I could go, and a local business specialized in plumbing. And I will tell you their name. Their name is Lock Plumbing. So we went there, in Knoxville, Tennessee, And I explained the situation, and immediately they knew what I needed. And they took me to exactly the same product, right? And I told him, well, that is what we got at this other store, but it didn't work, it didn't fit. And she said, yes, I understand. But this is what happens, see? This comes with two pieces, this comes with two different threads. So this big store had the product I needed, but they didn't have the knowledge they needed to give me, right? And when we came home, this is exactly the same size, and this fits exactly on my faucet, and now we can connect the hose to it. So the reason I'm sharing this with you, right, is when something like this happens to me, and I live in the United States, and I'm obviously not from here, I have an accent, it makes me wonder, is this person just a jerk, or are they a misogynist, racist, xenophobic jerk, right? And it makes me wonder, like, would this person have treated me the same if I was born here, if I was tall, with blonde hair and blue eyes? And I think one thing about jerks is that they tend to be worse to people who they think are not going to speak up for themselves, right? And so they think they can get away with being rude to a person because they make a calculation that that person is not going to complain. And I bet you there's a lot of Hispanic women here in Knoxville, Tennessee that would not complain about something like this. And here's the thing, I did not get angry at him. I went to the front, I asked to speak to a manager, I explained the situation to the manager and then to the man that he introduced me to that really knew about plumbing. And I was very careful to express myself clearly, to explain to both of them what had happened. And I did tell him the other employee had been rude, and that he had told me there was no one in the store that could help me, and then that he was just plain disagreeable. And I'm sharing this with you for two reasons. One is, don't let any water issues go on for a long time. Fix them. The solution is out there, and the people that are going to help you fix that are out there, even if you don't know exactly how to explain that. Now, I don't know if you've been following me for a while, but I have a degree as an architect in Ecuador. Now, when I studied architecture, I studied in the metric system. So in my career, I had to take a whole year about plumbing and calculations for sanitary installations in buildings. But my knowledge is in the metric system. So sometimes I'll go to a store, and I don't exactly know the word to explain, about the size of the thread. And I know what things would be like in centimeters and millimeters, but I don't know what things are like in inches and fractions of inches. And so even though I have lived here for so many years, because I don't do this all the time, because I'm not a builder, I'm not a contractor, I don't have these things fresh in my mind. And so, first of all, never let issues with water get unfixed, go on unfixed for a long time. Fix them, find the way, because water equals money in Feng Shui. And money is the energy with which we do things in this world. And so, and the other thing is, don't ever let anybody be abusive to you. Don't ever let anybody get away with being rude to you. It's not right. Nobody has the right to be rude to you. And people need to learn a lesson. There's several things I didn't do today. I didn't take down the name of the person who was rude to me. I didn't go to the manager and say, hey, so-and-so did this to me and he must be punished, I went and explained, this is the situation. This is what this person did not do for me. This is what I expect to see when I come to this store. I expect a certain kind of treatment from your associates. I expect to get a certain kind of help. If you don't give me that, I'm going to go to another store, right? And he needed to know that one of his employees is not doing right by the store. I'm doing the manager a favor, right? But I did not go and write a bad review about them. I didn't, because I guess, I could have taken down his name and then written a really bad review on the internet for them, like on Google, and written down his first and last name to make sure he gets in trouble, right? Now, my intention is not to make anybody get in trouble. I don't want anybody to lose their job. But I know every person that encounters me to know they're not going to get away with mistreating me, and they're not going to get away with being rude to me. And that is part of being assertive. And guess what? Being assertive is part of the same life area that in Feng Shui deals with money. And that's life area number 1, which is career, life mission, and individuality. And so Individuality is the ability to assert yourself. Being assertive is part of the same life area that rules money, which is this life area. And the life area works with the water element. And so water equals money, but it also equals self-assertion. It equals your ability to say, I am here and I matter. So don't ever let anybody, for any reason, mistreat you. And when you're trying to get things done, when you're trying to find solutions to your problems, that is your right to go out there, to go to a store, and to ask the people who are getting paid to help you. So don't take mistreatment from anybody. And be insistent and be intentional in keeping your home in good maintenance. Whenever some problem extends, sometimes there's a problem in your home and you try to solve it, and at every step of the way something happens, something goes wrong. That's a good sign in Feng Shui. That means that you have touched upon something that you really need to address, and you just keep insisting, you keep going until you find a solution. That's my message that I want to share with you today. So we have found our solution to our problem, and today we're going to have again a host that works. Bye-bye.